Hi, today we are talking about lesson 119, adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators. We know that you can only add or subtract fractions when they have the same denominator. So here's how you work with that situation. I'd like you to write in your notes. In order to add or subtract fractions that have different denominators, we must first rename the fractions. And here is an example of how you do it. In this situation, they are using a recipe that calls for 1/4 cup of milk and 3/8 of a cup of milk. And so the question is, how much milk are they going to use altogether? Obviously, the 1/4 and the 3/8 have different denominators. But I'm looking and I know that there's a way for me to rename this fraction of 1/4. I look and I know that if I multiply 2 on the numerator and 2 on the denominator, I'm not changing the value, but I am renaming it. That will give us 2/8. And suddenly I'm in business because I know that I can add 2/8 to 3/8 because our denominators are now the same. So I take 2/8 and I add 3/8 to that, and our answer is 5/8 of a cup of milk that they will need. Our next example is 5/6 of a, 5/6 of an hour subtracted by a half an hour. And we are looking at this and I look at myself and I go, uh-oh, 6 and 2, these are not the same denominators. I'm going to keep my 5/6 the same, but I can rename this fraction of 1/2. And I rename it by multiplying 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom, which ends up giving me 3/6. And so I say 5/6 minus 3/6 ends up giving us 2/6. Now, we have the answer of 2/6, but I look at this and I say, wait a minute. Both of these numbers can be divided by 2. So I'm going to simplify my answer. I'm going to divide the top by 2. I'm going to divide the bottom by 2. And we end up getting 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our final answer, simplified all down, is 1/3. This is a concept that you need some practice on, so please join me at the practice set. Try the problems and then test yourself and see how well you do when we do them together. I'll see you there.